Hey guys, welcome to Town & Country TV. I'm Colton, and today I'm going to go over this Bronco Black Diamond edition. We did a little TC Customs work to it that I think a lot of people are going to like, and we're super excited about it. All right guys, the first thing I want to get into is just how big this thing is. As you can tell, it is a lot bigger than a factory one, and the way we achieve that is with this rough country 3.5-inch lift kit. This comes with, your spacers, everything you need to get it up that high. It comes with upper control arms. This is an awesome kit, and what it actually allows you to do is to fit these on massive 37 1250s on here. This is a big tire. This is a lot of tire, a lot of meat, and it makes this thing look huge. I'm happy that companies are finally starting to get out there and build these lift kits big enough that we can fit these big tires on here. It drives great with them. You might think that, with this 2.3 liter motor, it's not going to drive, very well. It's going to be sluggish. It's not going to pick up speed fast enough. But luckily, this thing has 446 gears in it, and that turns those tires over just fine. You can get on the interstate, run interstate speeds, accelerate, anything you need. This thing drives amazing with this big stance that it has. Another awesome thing that Ford has put together is they've actually started working with rigid lighting. These are actually options that you can get from your Ford dealership as a Ford accessory. These are the rigid pod lights that mount right there in front of that rear view mirror. We also have the rigid rock lights right here. You can kind of mount them wherever you want. What they're made to do actually is to help illuminate the ground when you're off-roading at nighttime. That way you can kind of see your lines better, see the rocks, and just kind of see everything a little better when you're off-roading. But Ford working together with Rigid Light to get these products together and put that Ford backing and Ford name behind it's a super exciting thing, and we hope to keep moving forward with this progress, because these Broncos are really doing awesome with these aftermarket accessories. Moving up to the front of the vehicle, you'll see that we have a winch here. This is actually the Ford accessory option winch. This is the winch that you can add to your Bronco as you build it. It does not include install price. It is a dealer installed option, so it will have to be installed once the vehicle gets there and the part gets there. But it is awesome that Ford is working with Warren to actually make this mounting plate. Now this does only work with the modular bumper, so you have to have the modular bumper to make this work. There are a few companies out there that have a few other options for the non-modular bumper, but if you had the modular bumper, this is what you go after. This is the one that Ford's worked with Warren to make work right. That way you don't have any issues. The fit and finish is great. You can always get a wireless option to hook onto this, but it does come with the wired option. This particular one is the Xeon 10-S. It is a fast spool system, so as you can see, you're not waiting forever. Again, this particular one also is synthetic rope. That synthetic rope's not going to rust. It's actually going to last a little longer. The elements are not quite as harsh on the synthetic rope as it is as a metal cable. I did forget to mention, so with these 37 1250 tires, we actually have a set of KMC wheels. These are 17x9 with a -18 offset. And you can kind of look and see how those fit within this fender well. They stick out, I would say about 2.5 inches. They're kind of out there, but they do fill it out really well without being, too aggressive. You're not poking out, 6-7 inches or anything like that. But I'm actually going to hop in here, and Josh is going to film and show you that even with these big 37 1250s, this thing does not make contact with anything at all. We did have to remove the front and rear crash bars. On the Sasquatch, that's how they come from the factory. So we feel comfortable being able to remove those and not have any issues with them. But as you can tell, no rubbing, nothing. We haven't taken this thing off-roading, but we are very confident in the capabilities that this vehicle has with these 37-inch tires with this 3.5-inch lift. All right, so when you're doing this big wheel and tire setup, you don't want to just do 4 of them. You definitely want to get this spare done. And the customer opted to have the spare done. That way, in case he's in a situation, he's got that spare. But one of the things we do when we do these spares is actually to extend this third brake light. That way, it's not hidden behind this massive 37-inch tire. If you don't do that, that light's basically useless. You can't see that at all. So we always do that extension there. One cool thing about this Bronco that maybe not a lot of people have noticed is the fact that this thing has a tow package. It is very hard to get one of the tow package right now. It's almost impossible, really. If you try to order the tow package, they're pushing you out to 2022 and 2023. It's just one of those things that's really hard to get. But honestly, with this giant 37, it may be hard to get a trailer under this thing to tow. So it may be something that goes on the trailer while you're towing. Let's take a look in the back of this real quick. So So what the customer did opt for is the front and rear door bags. We keep them boxed up for the customers. That way there's no damage done to them. We don't want them to get messed up or dirty before the customer actually gets to take them out. But they did, like I said, get the front and rear door bags, because that's one of the cool things about this vehicle is you can actually take these doors off and have a way to store them in the back or in your garage. So we got this popped up now. These are also some floor mats. Again, we try to leave a lot of this stuff in box unless the customer tells us to put them in the vehicle before it arrives. Now this does have the vinyl flooring with it being a black diamond, but they still wanted these floor mats in here just in case. All right guys, let's hop in this thing real quick and just take a look in here and see what we can see. Well, first of all, let's take a look at this window sticker here. First thing you can see is this thing actually started off with 32s. So we went up 5 inches on the tire size. Again, that 3.5-inch lift kit allowing us to do that. Also here, as we mentioned before, it has the 4/4/6 gear ratio, and that's what allows us to turn these 37s over with no issue. I can't stress that enough. People are gonna think that thing's gonna feel sluggish because it has a 2.3. This thing drives completely normal. Probably faster than some vehicles out there, even with these 37s. Another cool thing about this vehicle, and this is a very unique vehicle, as we said a few times, with the 4/4/6 gear ratio. It's got the tow package. It's also a manual. So you've got the man pedal over here. Not a lot of people know how to drive a manual, but another cool thing is this crawl gear. This crawl gear, if you're in 4 low and you just let it crawl, you'll barely go a mile an hour, but you're not gonna get stuck on nothing. You're not gonna stall out on anything. So this is a really cool build. This is an off-road vehicle for sure. It's got, the vinyl seats. It's got the rubber floor. This is 100% off-road vehicle. This is a super good package if you're trying to get in without having to pay for a whole Sasquatch package, but you're still getting a lot of things that you need so that you can off-road. So another cool thing about this is it's really like in a more affordable Badlands. You're getting a lot of these off-road oriented things. You're getting these grab handles, which again, these grab handles have this blue on here instead of that orange. I don't know why anybody want orange on there. Well, somebody that might buy Badlands, I guess. But you also get a locking rear diff. And you may not get a front locking diff, but you do get this rear locking diff, and that really goes a long way. That rear locking diff is going to get you out of a lot of situations that you're going to get into. One thing we had mentioned earlier are these lights. Well, all these lights are wired up to these upfitter switches, and that's what's awesome. There is a junction box inside of there that has points to wire up into all this. So no matter what accessories you add to this thing, they can all be wired up in this one central location and be OEM fresh. It doesn't look like you've added something in there, just thrown something in it just because you wanted to. Like, this works with the vehicle and looks just right. As mentioned before, this does have a 2.3 liter motor in here. This is one of those options where if you aren't sure that you 100% need the 2.7, if you go the 2.3, you will actually get your Bronco a little faster. And as you can see, it turns over 37s. And like I said, this thing drives great. There's no issues with it. It's not luggy. It pulls at 100%. Again, it also contributed to the 4/4/6 gear ratio. I know we spoke earlier about the upfitter switches in there. So this is actually the point that they have all these wires freed up for you so that you can tie into that as you want to and use those upfitter switches without having to do a bunch of more wiring or anything. You just tie straight into this, ground to this, and you're good to go. All right, guys, and that's it for this Black Diamond Bronco. Thank y'all for watching. Again, we're super excited about these Broncos and what we get to do to them. We hope we're entertaining y'all with these builds we get to do and letting you see what options are available and what you can do with them. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget about that giveaway we're doing on that Black Bronco. Have a good day.